Hey guys. So, I had a dream the other night. 2 nights ago. It wasn't last night, it was the night before. And it was literally right when I woke up. And it's been on my mind and on my heart since I had the dream. And I got extra confirmation about the dream from a woman who I watch who does tarot and channeling. And she had titled her live hangout for the week, "The Bear is Reminding You." And I had a dream about a bear. I had the dream, and then she posted that later in the day yesterday, and I was like, okay. So I wanted to talk about it. Also, just because I've been feeling a little emotional. I'm sure you have been feeling this too. I think it's a collective wave. I haven't looked at the Schumann resonance. I haven't really looked at the astrology right now. I know Jupiter will be shifting soon, but I don't feel like it's Jupiter. I don't really know. Maybe it's Pluto moving retrograde. I'm not entirely sure. But I had this dream, and it was so quick, but so deep. And imagine, if you will, if you want, you can just close your eyes. Imagine being in a forest with like really tall redwood trees everywhere. And there's like a natural brown path in the wood. And I saw that, and then immediately I saw an image of a little baby bear, and it was like sitting like on the ground, and all around it were all these trees that were cut down, like pieces of trees all around him. And immediately, like, that was the only visual that I got for the dream, but immediately I knew and felt that the little baby bear knew where to migrate. It knew the migrational pattern of its ancestors from connecting to the trees that used to talk to his ancestors, to his family. And so the bears would recognize the trees as living sentient beings and commune with them. And the little baby bear wasn't with its parents. It didn't have parents with it. It was by itself, and it knew what trees to talk to because it had ancestors who would talk to these trees. And so it would go and like talk to the trees and hang out and like ask questions about its previous family members and what they were like. And then I had the image of, there was this one specific tree that the baby bear really liked, and it would climb on the tree and it would talk to it, and they were like friends. And then, so the image of the little baby bear, it was just sitting there, and it was just looking around at all of the trees that it used to talk to, cut down. And it was lost. It didn't know where to go, what direction to go, because all of the trees that it used to talk to were gone. And I woke up with that dream yesterday, and it was on my heart all day yesterday, throughout the day. And then we were on our way to a birthday party last night. And typically we drive on this section of the highway, which I'll be sharing in another video I'll be posting soon, because I went to visit my husband and I had to take the highway. And there's this whole entire, like, miles upon miles of like the middle of the highway that used to have people driving this way and people driving this way. The whole middle used to be lined with trees. And they have been just cutting all of the trees down. And every time I drive by it, I get really upset because I don't know what to do. Like, I don't know how to help. And yesterday we drove a back way instead of taking the highway. So we didn't drive by it. And I was just laying and looking out the window, and I was just watching all of the trees and all of the trees. And on the back roads, it's basically what it would have probably felt like to have been just living in Gaia, living in nature, and like knowing where you're going through the trees and the landmarks that you see. And I was thinking about that and thinking about the bear, and every time I thought about the little baby bear, I would just get overwhelmingly sad. So I stopped thinking about it. And then I had notifications from my YouTube about the live that the girl that I followed did, and I saw that it said "The Bear is Reminding You." And I didn't watch the video yet, but I screenshotted it and sent it to my husband because I told him about the dream. And then I woke up this morning and I was thinking about the bear again, and I've been working on a song. I don't have the harp with me, but I've been working on a song on my little lap harp, and I can feel that it needs to be finished, and it also feels like it's for the bear, and I'm still trying to figure out why the bear is, outside of just the fact that honestly we are like desecrating so many ancestors, through not recognizing that we don't need to, and that there are other plants that we can utilize instead of cutting down trees for what we say we need trees for, or widening highways. And so I woke up this morning and there was a album recommended to me, and this is gonna sound a little off topic, but I promise you it's not. I played this album. It's called Walk into the Woods, or Walking into the Woods by The Pilgrim, and I recently just shared it to my community tab if you want to listen to it. It's like 38 minutes, and it was called Psychedelic Folk Rock, and the only reason I clicked on it is because last night my sister and I were talking about different genres of music that we like. She's like, I kind of like, like Bon Iver and blah blah, and I was like, so kind of like folk. And then she's like, yeah, I guess folk. I was like, sad folk music, and then we were trying to figure it out, and then I saw psychedelic folk rock, and I like psychedelic music. So I loved the imagery on the album, so I clicked it, and it just took me through even more emotions. And I don't know, I was just trying to read more into the people who made the album, but it felt like the album was literally guiding me to walk into the woods. Like, I felt like when I got into the shower and I was listening to it and I had the lights off, and it felt like I was in the woods. It felt like I was being brought back into nature. It felt like I was being asked to commune with the mushroom, and I just started crying uncontrollably, and like, that cry that comes like from the center of like your chest and your heart, and like you're like, what is going on? I feel like a lot of us have been feeling like that, like, what is going on? A lot is changing and shifting. We are in eclipse season, and eclipses occur twice a year, so there's always change. It's always for our highest good. But this one has felt really, really hard. I don't know if it's Pluto retrograde. I don't know if it's just the state of how Gaia is feeling, as far as the message being remember the bear, and me like knowing a lot of what I want to do is to do something for Gaia, to do something to help Gaia. And seeing the little animal, the little baby bear just sitting there lost, I feel like a lot of us feel that way. I feel like a lot of us are wondering, and if you have parents who can guide you, that is beautiful. But I feel like a lot of us who consider ourselves to be starseeds, who consider ourselves to be light workers, who consider ourselves having chosen to come down here to help to elevate consciousness, who came down here to change the way things are because they're not working. I feel like a lot of us don't have the support of our like maybe earthly parents. We don't have those that we can look back to in our past ancestry to guide us into what we should be doing to make things better, to go down the path that's meant for us, that leads us back to Gaia, that leads us to the way in which we can all commune together with more harmony. And to me, like, feeling like the little lost bear is not very far off, feeling like those that I used to look to, that I used to like call to, that I would commune with, like, are not there, or like I'm having trouble seeing or feeling them or connecting to them. Like, I pray to Yeshua and I pray to Mary Magdalene, and they are with me when I call to them. When I pray to the angels, I feel them. But there's, I guess, something about the physical, tangible reality and feeling like, where are all these other light workers? Where are all these other star seeds? And like, what is going on? What is, like, something is, to me, it feels like something is happening. I've been feeling that way for a very long time though, and listening to the album today brought out a lot of me, and this is kind of where I want to close it, because I haven't really sat with this feeling too much, but enough in the past that I feel I can share it in this moment. And it's just been about feeling, I don't know if this is a light worker journey, a starseed journey, a neurodivergent journey, a projector journey, a human journey. I don't necessarily know, but I've had these feelings of like, it's not depression, it's not like, so the thing is, a long time ago my mother told me she was diagnosed by someone as bipolar, and I remember her being like, can you believe that? Can you believe they told me I was bipolar? And I didn't say anything because I didn't want to like hurt her feelings, but it didn't seem that crazy to me that they had said that to her. And I know that bipolar is hereditary, and So other people in my family had also been told that potentially they also had bipolar. And for me, I never claim a label, especially if I don't feel like it's going to assist me in doing anything to heal that or to grow from that. So I always just look up the spiritual meaning. And I brought my laptop in here because I was going to read it, but I don't have enough Wi-Fi from the house to do it. So I always look up the spiritual meaning of having an experience that's titled something else. So if someone says bipolar, I would say, what is the spiritual meaning of bipolar? And one of the main things that came up for people who experienced what others would call being bipolar is the heightened states of mania and then the lowered states of depression in different waves and ebbs and flows that can seem really crazy to other people, but to you it's almost just like you're not even like choosing that. You're not even choosing that, but I've been feeling a little like that lately, where I have these moments where I'm so connected to spirit and I'm seeing all the signs and everything is aligning and I'm like, this is gonna work. And then over a number of days, it's almost like going from delusion in a good way to like delusion and like what is going on kind of way, to where I'm at a point where it's like, what is happening? This doesn't feel right. Something is off. Feeling drained, feeling chronically fatigued, feeling tired, feeling like gray. I feel those waves, and I don't necessarily think that is bipolar, but a lot of what I read on the website about the spiritual meaning of bipolar was when you are having difficulty being who you are, when you are not able to fully express all of your truths, your body like struggles with that. We're supposed to fully inhabit our body in our truth, in who we are. And when you're not able to do that in your life, whether that be with like being able to just like interact with someone outside of you, not hiding parts of you, whether that's going into your work environment, feeling that you can be all that you are, whether that's being in a relationship with someone and not feeling like you're hiding aspects of yourself or your truth, when you feel like you can't just be yourself, like if I know immediately when someone else comes into my environment that a part of me has to like put on something else, then you're already like leaving parts of you out of your body. You're like starting to dissociate, and I've always had trouble with that. So for me, feeling the heightened states of mania and lowered states of depression is almost like those moments when I can be out in nature, I can be out with Gaia, I can walk with the trees and feel connected. And then those moments where I'm like with those and in environments and places and doing things that don't align with me, immediately feeling like my support system is cut down and I'm just lost and I don't know what's going on. So it's almost like kind of bipolar, but not really. And when I read that, it said it's when you're struggling to be who you are and hold your truth around everything outside of you, that really resonated with me because I've always really struggled with that, because I haven't always felt and typically don't feel supported to be all that I am around those who are in my environment, which isn't easy. And it's not something where I'm like trying to push my truth and beliefs. It's just like, you know, when you have special interests and they mean a lot to you and they really help you and you want them to be able to help other people, and you can't do that because they'll think that you're like a witch or like work in dark magic, but really you're just looking at the sky and at the stars, which is what our ancestors used to do, or like recommending different teas and different herbs for different things, but now you're brewing a concoction versus that's literally what grew out of the ground hundreds and hundreds of years, and we've been utilizing them until just recent modern day medicine. It's just been really hard. And the bear and this album and just the highs and lows of my current experience, I know I'm not alone in feeling this way, and I just needed to talk about it and I needed to let it out. And I trust that in expressing this, that there is someone else who is also experiencing this, and perhaps don't cling to the label of bipolar. Perhaps recognize it as a sign that you're not really being able to be all who you are in the environment you're in, and that's a sign that something is off, not within you but outside of you. As far as the bear goes, I know that the baby bear in the woods is way bigger than what I'm sitting and talking about right now, and I'm still taking the time to really flesh that out, but it's it's been on my heart and it's been on my soul, and I almost, like, I know it sounds crazy, but it almost feels like I was seeing something that is happening. Like, it was a bear somewhere in the woods. It wasn't just like, oh, I'm creating this image of a bear. It literally felt like I was watching something happening to a bear somewhere. And it just sucked that, you know, I don't know what to do. I can't really figure out what that is yet, but just sitting with that. And I know a lot of us who are empaths and who are highly sensitive in nature, just as starseeds, as humans, as whatever you may be, it can be difficult. And nature hasn't really been the only thing that has ever really supported me and accepted me for who I am and all of the parts of me. And I've never felt judged by nature, by Gaia. And so I really feel like being the baby bear in the woods really resonates, and it's somewhere that I recommend you go to if you're feeling alone, if you're feeling unsupported, is to go spend time with Gaia, because she's literally what we're living on. She gives us the food we eat, the fruit, the vegetables, flowers, cute little animals. So yeah, maybe that's what the call for the bear is to remember that we are all little baby bears here, and we can go and commune with our ancestors, and it is our job to be protectors of them because they can't defend themselves. So yeah, I don't really know what this was, but I needed to talk about it, so thank you for receiving it and holding space for me for what this was, and I hope maybe it's held a space for you as well. As always, I'm sending you peace, and I'm sending you love.